Hi everyone, welcome back to Storytime Recaps. In this video, I'm going to recap one of the film from 2019, Countdown. Without any further, let's get started. At a house party, a few teenagers are seated around a table. After talking about calorie tracking, one of the females pulls up an app on her phone that allows you to log what you eat. The other person wants to download it, but while looking for it, she discovers another app called Just Countdown. When the other person asks about it, she reads the description and discovers that it can predict your precise death date. With the exception of Courtney, all of them want to turn it into a drinking game where the one who has the least chance of survival will consume everything on the table. Courtney unwillingly agrees to the terms and conditions, going around the table and giving everyone between 60 and 30 extra years of life. She appears upset, showing them that she only has 3 hours left to live. The other players tease her and tell her that she must follow the game's rules, which include drinking, when her boyfriend Evan comes over and drinks in place of her. Later, when they get to his car, she begs him to walk her home instead of driving since he seems so drunk when they get inside.
Leave the car here.
He attempts to get her to come back in, but when he is unsuccessful, he storms off in anger. She exits and begins to walk. The app notifies Courtney that she has violated the user agreement. She appears to be being followed as she walks, and the app's warning that she only has 2 minutes to live causes her to dash inside her house. The app keeps ringing on her phone, so she turns it off. Courtney enters the bathroom and grows more suspicious. She checks the shower curtain and turns to get some water, but as she turns around, something grabs her from above and drops her into the shower, breaking her head. She passes away when the countdown timer reaches 0. While all of this was going on, Evan was involved in a car accident, and Courtney's passenger seat was totally destroyed. Quinn is shown leaving an elevator and pushing a nurse's trolley through the hospital. As she enters a room, she notices that one of the patients is still not eating, but she knows where to look for him. Evan is seated on a balcony in a medical facility's closed wing. She attempts to strike up a conversation with him to help him unwind before surgery, but he shows her the countdown app, which indicates that he only has about 19 hours left. He informs her about the app and his girlfriend's idea that it was able to predict her death. Evan believes the app is aware of the approaching death during surgery. Quinn tells him not to worry about the app and forces him to return to his room. On the way, they run into Amy, who invites Quinn to accompany her. Amy is surprised by hospital personnel with a cake because she passed the nurse's test.
One of us!
Quinn makes jokes about the app while they're eating cake, and some of the other people had already heard about it. They chuckle about it when Scott receives a life extension of more than 50 years, and so does Dr. Sullivan. Suddenly, a man enters carrying a woman who is overdosing. The doctor checks her on the floor, and Amy instructs Quinn to bring the kit containing the medications to offset what she has taken. Amy gives the woman the medication, and she awakens. Quinn subsequently receives an advertisement for the app as she is leaving work. She downloads it, enters her information, and accepts the terms. According to the app, she just has a little over 2 days left to live. Dr. Sullivan enters the elevator abruptly and makes flirtatious advances, but she tries to play it cool. Quinn is working on her nursing paperwork at home that evening when she runs into an issue. She phones Scott for assistance, and he informs her that she needs to enter the data from her birth certificate. Quinn knows where to look for it even if she doesn't have it with her. She goes to her parents' house to get it. While sorting through her mother's paperwork, she discovers something moves in the closet behind her. When she opens it, she sees her sister Jordan and her boyfriend. He gets dressed and leaves, but Quinn criticizes her sister for it. Jordan is upset with her for parenting her and for not visiting more frequently when their mother passed away. After telling her that she needs to finish her studies and offering her an apology, Quinn goes to her room. Her father notices her there and is glad to see her. He asks if she would like to visit her mother's grave with them sometime.
Sounds nice.
Great.
When Evan realizes he only has 3 minutes to live the next day, as he gets ready for surgery, the app notifies him that he has broken the agreement and he exits the room. In the mirror, Evan sees a deathly presence behind him, but in reality, nobody is there. He flees through the stairway, but it comes after. The app keeps alerting him to the approaching deadline. Evan hears footsteps inside the dark stairwell and uses his phone's light to try to see who is downstairs. When he looks up, he thinks he sees Courtney, but it's actually something else that is chasing him. His phone falls down the stairs, and when the countdown reaches 0, he also falls. After Quinn arrives at work a little while later, Amy tells her about Evan. Quinn remembers the app and is disturbed. Quinn then goes to Evan's room and notices her colleague packing things away. She informs her that she will take over. After finding his phone and discovering she requires his fingerprint to access it, Quinn travels to the basement facility to see his body. When using his thumb to open his phone, it doesn't work, so she tries using his face instead. When she eventually succeeds in opening the phone and opens his eyes, she discovers that the countdown has hit 0. He abruptly reaches out to touch her, causing her to drop the phone. As she picks it up, his head is turned to face her. The body is returned to the freezer by her. When Quinn looks at her phone, she discovers that she has fewer than 2 days left. The countdown begins at the very moment Quinn is scheduled to see her father and sister at her mother's grave. When she phones her dad and cancels their plan, the app notifies her that she has violated the user agreement. Later, she sees a figure in the room, but when she returns, the figure in the room has vanished. She is scared by Dr. Sullivan when he asks her to assist with a patient, but she is having problems with the machine and wants to leave. He stops her, making her feel uncomfortable. The doctor then advances on her again, but she refuses, and he continues after she pushes him away. After apologizing, she goes to find Nurse Amy to tell her what has happened. Before she can say anything, the doctor calls for Amy, so she misses the opportunity to tell her. When the app flashes another notification that night, Quinn tries to delete it but is unable to. She then searches for Courtney online and watches a video where a girl complaining about the app claims to be seeing things like her deceased cousin. Suddenly, the girl says her time is up, at which point she hears something scream and drops her phone. Quinn closes down her laptop and relaxes a bit after reading the comments underneath the video. But then she notices that even if she breaks the notification from her phone, the countdown continues. Quinn gets into her car and falls asleep. Jordan wakes her up in the morning, and when they get to her apartment, her sister discovers that her phone is broken, has seen the app, and informed her that she only has a few days left to live.
Babysat by Mrs. Talbot.
After making fun with her when she discovers how to use the app, she wants to stay with her because their dad had to leave on an unexpected work trip. Jordan rushes out when Quinn refuses, and she scratches her finger on the shattered screen as the app rings once again. Later, she's looking for a new phone in a store. Before the man can run her card, Quinn opens it and checks to see if the app is still there. When it isn't, she leaves, but before she does, another notification appears and the app is still on the new phone. Quinn asks the man about the app, and he tries to remove it but is unable to do so. When Quinn eventually leaves, one of the other customers asks the store employee about the app.
What app was she talking about?
While Quinn is in her car, she is looking at the app that keeps counting down when she suddenly notices a deathly form that is only visible in her rearview mirror. Abruptly, it seizes her from the rear seat and she crashes into another vehicle, tumbling out of control. The driver of the other vehicle yells at her, and the store customer leaves, telling him to stop after scaring him off and revealing to her that he has the app as well. Afterwards, they are spotted discussing it in a pub. She suggests that they should find a method to view the app's user agreement once more, and Matt encourages the crazy man to download it. When Quinn gets to the terms and conditions page, they go over to him and he starts reading them. It states they have to accept their fate, but the crazy guy still agrees to the rules, and the app predicts that he will live to be 91 years old. Quinn and Matt visit the hospital and ask the priest about demons. He replies that he doesn't believe in them and sends them to another person. Amy requests to speak with Quinn before they depart. Matt goes to the bathroom and notices a barefoot kid under the door when someone tries to enter the bathroom. While doing his hand washing, he hears someone crying in one of the stalls. When he goes to investigate, he sees the barefoot kids again, moving through the stalls as if there were nothing between them. When he gets to the last stall, the lights go out, and Matt goes to check it out. Nothing is there, but when he looks behind him and hears his name, something attacks him. When the lights come back on, the thing is gone. Amy brings Quinn to a meeting with HR. However, according to Dr. Sullivan, it was Amy who cornered him, not the other way around. The HR man claims she will be suspended. Amy confronts Quinn as she begins to give her side of the tale, but Quinn leaves abruptly. While he waits for her, Matt hears the voice of the monster that attacked him repeatedly and chooses not to tell her what happened. Searching for the man the other priest informed them about, they enter a church and locate him in his office. He is so excited that they ask him about demons, and he instantly recalls an old tale. In it, an elderly gypsy woman gives a prince a scroll that contains a prediction about the precise hour he will die. She warns him not to use the information to change his destiny.
Moment of his death. Fate. Now,
Still, the prince
agrees.
follows through, returning to the gypsy to inform her that death is after him. She informs him that the scroll foretells his death, but it's actually a demon that will torment him until that moment. He advises them, find someone to hack the app for them. They bribe Derek, the store guy, to help them, and he knows the app and teases them for thinking it, but he still hacks it for them. The app's code is written in Latin, and inside it are the countdowns for every user, including Derek. Derek modifies every parameter for his countdown, and then searches for Quinn.
Okay. What's your name, Pumpkin?
They discover her sister's countdown as well. Since her clock and hers are nearly identical, Derek modifies it. Jordan notices the change on her phone, but the person seeing her and grabs it. As Derek drives off, Matt and Quinn thank him for altering their countdown.
You still good?
Then, because they are still afraid, Quinn begs Matt to stay with her. The night they get ready for bed and even keep the lights on. Matt tells her a story about his deceased brother, and she tells him about her mother. They were both cruel to them before they passed away. While they were resting in the bed, the lights go out. Quinn hears something outside the room and tries to wake Matt up. However, the demon is the one in bed with her. Once the real Matt removes her blankets, the demon vanishes. Quinn remembers her sister's countdown, and the app still reverts to the original one. Jordan notices that her countdown has altered when something comes in front of her room. He goes to investigate, and as soon as he does, the lights go out once more in the old woman's room. Meanwhile, Jordan hears her phone call. She returns to her room, and then he saw that the time of his life returned to the original. But when she turns around, she sees the light flicker again. She hides beneath her bed, hearing her mother call out to her, pleading for her sister. Suddenly, something pushes the bed aside, revealing her deceased mother. Jordan dashes to the front door, where Quinn and Matt are waiting for her. They return to see the demon priest, who reads the code to them in Latin. He believes that if they can keep one of them alive longer than the app predicts, the curse will be broken. His plan is to hide in a blessed circle of salt for as long as it takes to keep one of them alive, at which point they will be able to lift the curse. Quinn mixes the salt with paint, and while they are laying it on the ground, the priest blesses the salt. When they check Matt's countdown timer, he moves away in fear, but Quinn kisses him. When the app begins to blare, the lights go out and they are all inside the circle as the demon approaches. The priest is praying as the demon comes behind them, but is unable to enter the circle. Unexpectedly, a toy robot that only Matt can see makes its way to the circle. The demon seizes him and pulls him away after his brother shows there and entices him to leave the circle. Quinn chases after him, but before she gets to Matt, a car strikes him and a countdown to his death. Jordan gets harmed, so Quinn rushes her to the hospital. While a doctor attends to her sister, one of Quinn's coworkers assures her that she is aware of what happened with Dr. Sullivan and promises to support her in against of him. Quinn runs over to watch the doctor chatting to her sister after they hug. Quinn is informed by Jordan that their mother's death was her fault and not Quinn's, but Jordan responds that it's not their fault if they make up. At the very least, Jordan says, they will spend their final moments together. Quinn has a plan, so she doesn't think they will die.
Trust me.
She enters Dr. Sullivan's office and offers her apologies for tricking him. After realizing she is a liar and asking what she wants, she replies that she wants her job back. He follows her into the locked wing. A little while later, the doctor enters the closed wing and searches for her, discovering pieces of her clothes on the floor where Quinn is teasing him. She abruptly smacks him with a wrench and tries to give him a morphine shot, but Jordan intervenes and stops her. The devil drags the doctor off. Quinn sets out to find him, believing that if she kills him before his countdown, the curse will be broken. Jordan searches for her as her app indicates she has less than 2 minutes to live, and then the demon emerges behind her. Quinn is still seeking for the doctor in the meantime. She hears something, and when he knocks her unconscious and prepares to kill her, she pursues him once more. However, the demon pushes her away, allowing him to go. Jordan! Quinn learns the concept in a different way. Jordan is being pursued by the demon at the same time, but her app lets it know where she is. She rushes to investigate when a freezer opens, but before she can do so, the demon snatches her and throws her through a window. She knows that time is running short since the demon is going to murder her. Jordan begs Quinn not to commit suicide as she unexpectedly appears with a needle pressed up against her skin telling it to let her sister go, and the demon changes into her mother to divert her attention. Quinn is temporarily distracted as Jordan's time runs out. She injects morphine into her veins, however, seeing what is happening and dying before her time, stopping the demon from taking her. Quinn has broken the curse of the demon when Jordan notices the name of a medication written on her sister's arm and a bottle rolling away. She injects it into Quinn's arm, reducing the morphine and bringing her back to life. Later, Quinn, Jordan and their father pay a final visit to their mother's grave before heading out. Quinn receives a notice on her phone indicating that the Countdown app has been installed in beta version. Thanks for watching. And remember to turn on your notifications to watch more movie recaps like this one.